Let's say you had to do a project where you needed to divide a circle into 60 different units, as in you were designing a clock, and you needed to have 60 tick marks going around the face of the clock. Now, to do that, we would start with a black fill. I'm going to make a circle using the circle tool. Come to the center of a central point of reference with two guidelines, and Command Shift draw the circle. Let's call that the face of the clock. Now remember, that's a stroke, a 1-point stroke with no fill. Now I want to put a tick mark out here on the at the 12 o'clock position. So I'm going to take my rectangle tool and I'm going to make just a little narrow tick mark. Big enough so you can see it, but not so big that it takes up a lot of space. Now that tick mark, I'm also going to change it so it's a black fill and no stroke, and I'm going to set it inside this circle so that the center of it is right down the middle of this guideline. Now this is the center point of reference, so if I want to make 60 ticks of this clock, I have to have 360 degrees around the circle. If I want 60 of them, I divide 60 into 360 and I get 6. So that'd be 6 degrees. So I have my original sitting there. I take my rotate tool and I come to the center of the in this face of the clock, or the center of the circle. Now hold down the Option key to activate the rotate palette, and I'm going to go clockwise, so I'm going to make it minus, and I'm going to make that 6 degrees. And then I'm going to hit the copy, and I get 1 tick mark going there. So now I've got 2. But now I just hold my finger on the Command key and just keep hitting the D key until I get 60. Now you're going to have to count. I'm not going to count. I'm just going to whack these things all the way around. But when you get to get close to the conclusion, slow down and then don't go over. Stop there. Don't start on an overlap here and here and here and here, because that's going to cause problems. But having done that, now I have 60 ticks. Now I'm going to take time to count them, but I know there's 60 ticks there. You could make this thinner. It's a little heavy now with the idea of what am I going to do with these tick marks, so it's not so heavy in a watch face or a clock face, but that's how you make 60. If you wanted just 50, if you wanted 38, you divide 38 into 360 and take it out to 2 decimal points, and that will be your degree that you were going to make work there. Now I can say I'm going to go backwards and make something more of a design element perhaps out of this. Now the tick marks you can keep, and there they are. I'm going Command Z's backward. What if I took this particular shape here and elongated it and made it into a longer tick mark? And I'm going to keep the same width, but I'll do that same routine again, where I take the rotate mark, come in here, and Option key and click. I get the angles. I'm going to change that back to the same 6 degrees and minus, and hit copy. Now they do touch each other here. They're going to overlap because there's some thickness to this. But as I put this thing around, now I'm not thinking of a clock anymore. I'm just thinking of a generic design. But I'm going to get 60 ticks out of this thing, or 60 bars. Now I can say that's good. I've made that work. But let's say I want to go with some different coloration here. I've got black, and see where they're molding together here. You get a black shape. Let's say I want to cut it out right at that point or somewhere in there. I'm going to take a invisible line now, no stroke, no fill, go back to my circle and come in here and say, all right, Command the Shift key and the Option key, so that it makes me grow a circle from the center out, and I'll come out here to this area, and then I can say fine, I'm going to go in here and select all those tick marks. I actually get the outside circle too, so I'm going to hold down the Shift key and deselect that. Now I have the invisible line here that I'm going to use to cut all of these bars with. Hold down the Command key and hit the divide button in Pathfinder, and it's divided all those. Now it'll take a while to do this, but I can go in here now and select individual shapes here and change the color. If I say I want it to be red, you can see that I can go in there and I can select them and make them red as I'm going around. Now look, they're getting narrow too because they cut across each other as these bars came in. So I can continue with my white arrow with a plus, and if I wanted to take the time, I might do every other one a red. Every other one is a red, and then an orange or a blue, or whoops, I went the wrong way on that one. Keep on the inside. And you see what I'm getting here is I'm going to get a series of a fan shape out of this thing. This could be my design that I was going for. But let's look at it here. Let's go down to this area, and I'm going to go every other one. I'm using the shift key with the white arrow with the plus because it selects stuff inside of a grouped unit. And I'll just do a few of these and make those an orange, and then come back in here and select the outer edge, every other one, and make it a blue. Okay, so when I get through with that, I'm getting different colors. I can go inside and do the same thing inside here. You are going to get the little spike things happening here because these rectangles overlapped each other, and when we cut them with Pathfinder, they began to make even more interesting definitions. So what I'd like you to do with this is to see what I've done here and make up your own design. Maybe make a cut mark inside, maybe make two cut marks inside. Instead of having one circle, have two circles, and then do every other one, or go orange and red and green in the breakdown as you go inside. Make some sort of design, in this case with the 60 ticks. Now this is too fancy for a clock now, unless you have some really wild background that you have awfully large numbers to overcome this. But see what you can do to make this design work out of the rotating and the cutting and the coloration. And when you get through, maybe you don't need the outside here anymore, this outside circle, because there's your design coming. See what you can make in the form of this circular design using this rotate tool and a small degree, like 6 degrees or whatever you're going to have, 50 or 60 or 40 notches. See what you can make out of that.